Hi friends, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm adjusting my chair here in my carpet. So, it's Monday afternoon, 1 p.m. for Stamp with Tia. I'm Tia Woodward, and I am so glad to be here today. I have hi Andy, I have some fun things to tell you about. And let's see, what's the first thing I want to tell you about? Well, I think the first thing would be we're still in celebration. We have a little over a month left. What, a month and a... Hi, Andy. The other Andy. Both Andys are on here. Whoop, whoop. My new team member. Super exciting for both of us. So, let's see. We have celebration. Celebration will go through the end of February. And there are so many goodies in the celebration flyer. I haven't received them all yet, but I got notification today they're on their way, so that's awesome. I've shown you a few things already, so it's not like I haven't shown you anything. I do have something new, and that is with every purchase over $35, I have 5 make and take kits that I'll be sending you. And Andy Sage, this is the kits that I told you about that I'll be sending you. And then anybody who placed a purchase, like I haven't even advertised this yet, it's going to start today. And I already had somebody making purchases today, so it will include those people. So that's super exciting. I will show you those make and takes when I turn the camera down, which will be in a minute. Let's see. Hi, Barb. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, the make and takes. I will send you the cardstock cut. Anything that's die cut will be die cut. Anything that's DSP that needs to be cut down, all of that will be sent to you. But I can't send any stamped images. So, for instance, one of these cards has this daffodil arrangement on the front. I will send a piece of paper that's big enough for you to stamp and die cut. If you have the daffodil kit, great. But if you don't, maybe use something else that you've already got in your stash. Or maybe you want to buy the daffodil kit after you see these make and takes. I will include a PDF tutorial on how to assemble them. So, and then I will also send any of the embellishments. So for instance, this one has this ribbon. I will send the ribbon. Or for instance, this one has ribbon and some adhesive back dots. I will send those. So I will turn the camera down in just a second and show you those. Let's see, what else can I tell you? Oh, when I made these, I had intended to use the new Special Moments sentiments from the Special Moments stamp set that's in the celebration flyer. Mine hasn't arrived yet, so I ended up using sentiments from the Honeybee Home. But use whatever sentiments you've got. Okay, let's see, what else can I tell you? We have a new set of blends coming out, so our blender pens. We have, I can't remember if it's 8 or 10, I think it's 10 new colors coming out that are various colors of skin tones or hair colors. So those are supposed to arrive. All of my stuff is backed up somewhere. Those are supposed to arrive here for me to start playing with on Wednesday. So Thursday night, instead of being mystery stamping, I'm going to do a kit night. And at the beginning of that kit night, I will show you these new blender pens, and I will have the chart filled out to show you how they blend together and make all different kinds of skin tones. So this is brand new for Stampin' Up. We've had 2 skin tones in the past, and now we've got a lot more, and it's super, super exciting. It was a real need that we had. So I'm really grateful and inspired by the fact that Stampin' Up! Is providing that to us. These blender pens will be in the new catalog. Along with those blender pens, starting in February, so I'll get mine on Wednesday, but starting in February, I think it's February 1st, it will be available to customers, and that is, it's called the All Me collection. No, Altogether collection, excuse me, Altogether collection. And it's got all different kinds. There's some stamps that like make the heart shape like this with hands. And then there's like various graphics that show, you know the graphic where there's 4 people holding hands. Anyway, there's all different kinds of graphics like that. There's, let's see what else. There's some black and white papers that can be customized. Anyway, the stamp set, the dies, and the paper are only available to customers from February through April. I'm trying to remember when the new catalog starts, because this is going to be our 2nd year starting. Anyway, I think our new catalog, yeah, I think it goes through the end of April, and our new catalog will start in May. Okay, whew. Let's see. So the big takeaways there is that on Thursday night is kit night instead of mystery stamping, and at the beginning I'm going to show you this new promotion that will be available starting in February. Okay, so I had a lot happen this morning. So we're going to, it looks like maybe I've got enough people on here that you're going to help me decide as I go along. I know what my end result is going to be, but I haven't decided on every single color and stuff like that. I've got everything right here, ready to go. I'm going to turn the camera down. So first you can see the make and takes. It's 5 kits, and we'll go from there. All right, going down. And do you like those? I hope. All right. All right. Trying to keep this in the, it's always a game here trying to make all this work. All right, so we've got 5 make and takes. We've got this one that has the print, the DSP back here. I die cut one of the daffodils from Daffodil Daydream. I've got an embossed piece of paper back here that will be included in the kit. The ribbon will be included. I've got some gems on here. These are the iridescent gems. And then I'll include a piece of paper, a piece of scrap paper for you to choose your own sentiment to add to this. So I guess I totally dropped the ball and didn't tell you what I was showing you here. So all of the papers that you see here are available in the Daffodil Afternoon Designer Series paper that is available with a $50 purchase. So it's available for free. It's 12 by 12 pages available for free with the $50 purchase. That's in the celebration flyer. So I'm showing you, so for instance, this print, and I don't know if you can see it, this is a polka dot in here, that print, and then I stamped over the top of it. Those are all in there. This is in here. This is in here. I'm showing you 9 of the 12 prints. So this one, I used the layering circles to cut out. You can see I've got some black matte dots. This one, I realized just now that I have forgotten to put the sentiment on here, but there will be a piece of paper included for you to put your sentiment on here. And this one's really pretty on the inside. So this is a stamp that comes with the Daffodil Daydream. But you can put whatever you want. You could use, I don't know, a piece of Designer Series paper or a stamp of your own. I like how this one turned out real well. Just split it up, and I kept everything in its orientation so that it was just had a little bitty split in between. And then I used one of our tag punches So super easy peasy. I think this one is super cute. I'm not normally a ruffly, pink, peachy kind of girl, but for some reason I'm really attracted to this card. And I just realized I didn't put the inside on that one, so I'll include the sheets for you to do something on the inside. Anyway, I really like, these butterflies are actually in this stamp and die set. So, anyway, so those are the make and takes that are available for free with a $35 purchase. And friends, let's be honest, if you're going to spend $35 during Celebration, you really should bump that up to $50 so that you can get something for free, like maybe this paper, or there's several other papers or stamp sets that are available. All right. And then I've shown you all of these before, so I'm going to be super, super quick on this, but just to show you some more samples of that paper, I'm just showing you, some of these are cards that I made, some of these are make and takes, or excuse me, not make and takes, swaps that I've received. I mean, can you see the polka dot paper? I love that polka dot paper. This is a little bay window card. And today I'm going to be playing with these dies here. So that's just a sample of some of the papers and what you can do with some of them. I didn't go into a lot of detail on that. Oh, you don't have the daffodils yet? Oh, I'll sell you on them today. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. I have two different designer series papers. I just realized one I didn't pull all the way out. Okay, so I've got this one from the In Good Taste designer series paper, or I've got this one from the Heart and Home collection, and I am going to create a window pane, and out of that window pane it's going to be coming a bouquet of daffodils. So friends, let me know, what do you think? Shall I go with the brown or shall I go with the white? If I go with the brown, I've got brown cardstock cut out and ready to go for the back. Or for this one, I've got white cut out and ready to go for the back. Actually, I might switch that to gray, but let me know. What do you think? Let's do a little bit of interaction here. I love wood grains. You like the brown. I think that the daffodils, okay, brown. That was my first choice. Sweet. I think I'm going to just go ahead and go with the brown. Beautiful. That was easy. Thank you, friends. Set this stuff aside so that it doesn't get bent up while I'm working. All right. So this is going to be my card base. It's going to be a tent fold, or it's going to be a top fold card like such. So I'll set that aside here. Now to get busy with figuring it out. Okay, so I have, yep, I sure do. Here it is. It was underneath a piece of paper. I have my paper trimmer. So the reason I just delayed in saying the word paper trimmer is it popped into my mind. I was watching a convention this weekend. I attended 2 conventions this weekend for inspiration and such, and one of the people pointed out that by laying their paper cutter this way, that it's actually upside down. I've been using this for 2 years and never realized I was doing it upside down. I prefer it than doing this. So this would evidently be correct direction. But for some reason, I like to pull my paper against this track, and so I like it right in front of me. So isn't that funny how I've had this for a couple of years and had no idea? Okay. Had no idea that I was There we go. That I was doing it upside down, but it's my preference, so it's my craft room. I can do it however I want, but just pointing that out for anybody else who's maybe been watching me and thinking, what is she doing? Okay, so we know that my card front is 4 1/4 inches wide. So I'm 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, going to be a top fold. So the dimensions that I'm working within are this 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. All right. I want to create a windowsill or a window that's going to sit up off of the page. So I am going to take this, so my maximum, and I'm going to be using the rectangle dies, the stitched rectangle dies, to create my window. So I want my window, so if I were to take this down to 3 1/2, that's a pretty good sized window. See, the dies for the daffodils are pretty large, so I don't want to do too small of a window or it's going to look really silly with my daffodils coming out. So I want to do a big enough window. So let's see. So at 3 1/2, I could almost get that on there. And this would be about so big. All right. So that would be the outside of my window. So I'm going to go up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut it 4. Now I have to decide, do I like this color of the paper or do I like this color? I actually like the darker side a little bit better. So I'm going to cut. All right. Sorry you had to listen to all of that. Then, I believe that this die, so I'm going to go a little bit, I'm going to go 5 1/4. So I am going to die cut this just like this. But I like my, because I already know I'm going to put dimensionals behind this, and our designer series paper, whereas it's really nice and thick, isn't necessarily as thick as cardstock. I'm actually going to back this with cardstock, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it first. So I see that this is as big as I would like it to be. I'm going to run that through the cutter, and then I'm going to decide what the inner dimension of my window is going to be. And I think that's a little bit skinny. I just had a lot happen this morning, so I'm sorry I got a little distracted, but I think it's kind of fun to have people making decisions right along with me. I did look up colors of daffodils online, and I am going to stick to what I know. And there's a reason behind that, and I am going to tell you about it. So there's the window that I'm going to make. So this is going to get cut out, and this is going to be my window right here. All right. So when I was growing up, I'm going to reach for my, let's see. I knew that was going to make a big boom. Sorry about that. When I was growing up, we lived in Portland, Oregon, and we lived on an undeveloped street. And that undeveloped street was muddy and full of rocks. It was not paved. But it was great fun. I mean, like, our little army men had no lack of places to go swimming or all of those fun things that you do when you're a kid. Okay, I'm going to loop this around for just a second. I just realized my cord was kind of sort of hanging in the way. There we go. Anyway, so we had a place, it was basically an alley that was across the main road that we called the Western Hills. And it had you couldn't get a car through it. Let's see, I need to glue this, or not glue it, but tape this down. Anyway, man alive, I just can't find anything I'm looking for. It looks like I put everything in a little bit different place. My apologies, y'all. Okay, here we go. Anyway, so the Western Hills was, again, undeveloped. It was overgrown with shrubbery. It was muddy. It went up a hill and down a hill. And when I say a hill, it was, we're talking a city block. So it wasn't really far, but to us kids, it was. And I'm using Post-it tape to hold my die in place. I should just go ahead and do both at the same time. Sorry you can't see what I'm doing because I already put my cut and emboss machine right there. So anyway, we used to go up into the Western Hills and there were daffodils and tulips that grew in abundance. I'm just eyeballing this, friends. I'm not measuring. And we used to pick those, and then we would, especially on May Day, deliver them to our neighbors in little paper baskets. And those are some of my absolute most cherished childhood memories. I would never trade those memories for anything. And then, when my husband and I got married, it was in April, and I carried not only daffodils, but I carried tulips. And our table arrangements were daffodils, tulips. Man, everything's moving on me today. There we go. Daffodils, tulips, and iris. Because I allowed my husband to pick the colors, and he wanted husky colors, Washington State husky colors. Sorry for the big pop, I was trying to avoid that. Oh, you love the Army Man story. Yeah, right? And Hot Wheels, don't forget the Hot Wheels. I mean, like, nature was our playground. So daffodils have a really tender place in my heart, and I'm enjoying this set very much and remembering those things. All right, getting my Post-it. Oh, I should have done the cardstock at the same time. All right, so there is that. Darn, I really should have done the cardstock at the same time. That's what I get for telling stories. I'm going to cut a little piece of cardstock here because I really feel like I'm going to get a better window using the cardstock. And wondering if I can line up my dies again right on this or not. Let's see. A lot of times you can line them right back up because there's notches, and they kind of you feel them click right into the place. This was silly of me. Let's see, can I get that one? If I can get one. I think I did. So I'm going to do that. I should just do it over. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. There's no reason in you all watching me fuss when I made a mistake. I am going to... trying to decide if I want to use adhesive strip to adhere these together before I put them through the die cutting machine. So I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to leave any residue on my... I'm going to cut a piece of my adhesive strip, and you've seen me demonstrate this before. This has layers, and you pull one off and it exposes the adhesive. I'm going to cut this off camera just because I don't want to have to make you watch me move this back and forth. There we go. Let's see if I can move that to one side. Sorry, everybody. I obviously got distracted with telling my little childhood story, which still means the world to me. Okay. I am going to apply my adhesive and something about like such. There we go. Now I'm going to stick that down. Whoops. Just going to pull this off. Well, okay, I won't lie. I like it better when I have everything cut in advance. I'll get my mojo here in a second, everybody. Come on. I don't know why that's not stuck. There we go. Can you see the adhesive there? You see where it's shiny? That's where the adhesive is at. There we go. All right, back in the money here. Now I am adhering my DSP that I'm going to be cutting into a window right onto my cardstock. Now I can cut them both at the same time and they will line up. Much smarter move. Sorry, everybody. Let's see, I'm trying to remember. I saw a presenter make a similar mistake last week. I can't remember who it was. And yes, it makes me feel better to know I'm not the only one. All right, I'm going to first kind of line this one up like that. And then line this one up. I will fix where that tape is at. I want to make sure that my print lines, there we go. So this piece is going across all of the layers. Can you see that? Not quite. Flip this around. Well, it's not smooth every single time. It's usually smooth for me, but just not today. That's okay. I had a lot of stuff happen this morning, and I had to allow myself the acceptance that it just is not going to be the same every single time when I'm prepping. It's okay. Oh goodness. It's because I've got two dies in there. There we are. There we go. And because this gray tabletop that you see is actually sitting on a metal table that is too shiny with my light. Come on. I'm not breaking anything. That's the roller popping off of the die. Okay, it looks like I went all the way through, but you know what I'm going to do just to make sure? I'm going to roll it back through upside down, just like this, one more time. Because if it didn't cut, there we go, a little easier this time. There we are. Then I would have some awkwardness again. Okay, it feels like there's something sticky on my plate here. I have a backup plate over here. Peeling away my outer border that is not part of my card design and tossing that away. And you'll see I don't have any adhesive back strip there that I'm tossing. I haven't wasted anything along those lines. Peeling off my Post-it tape. I can reuse that. And there we go. There's our picture border. And do you see how nice the definition of the stitch lines are? It's because I added that extra layer back there. And now when I pop these up on dimensionals, it's going to look awesome. So there's my card back. There's my frame. Now I need to add some flowers. And I'm going to hang on to this because I just might use this somewhere else. And yeah. All right, putting these back. So if you're not familiar with the stitched rectangles, there are many pieces. There are actually, where's the second layer here? All of these come together. So there's a whole bunch. Let me get a drink of water. Okay. Let's see. Push that far enough out of the way for a couple of minutes while I figure out my next step. So I'm going to, what I'm envisioning is, thank you. I appreciate it, Andy. Digging dirt forts with, yeah, right? Built-in shelves. Trying to, there we go. And everything. You know, we actually tried to dig ourselves a hole to China. We thought that was actually a possibility. How funny is that? Okay, so I'm getting there. Sorry, y'all. All right, so we're going to make some daffodils. We're going to make some with yellow. We are going to make some with crushed curry, some with white. I'm pulling out a couple of different colors of yellow. I guess I could put that long skinny strip away, pull that one out. So I'm going to do a little bouquet of 3-4 flowers, probably 3. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and grab this So Saffron just in case. I feel like that's a good mix. And then, so what I'm doing is I'm grabbing out of my scraps. I want to use up my scraps as much as possible before I cut new sheets. And normally I just pull these ahead of time, but I actually wanted to show you, as silly as that might sound, how you can just keep reusing all of this to make these little dinky pieces. Okay. And then for the stems, I know that I'm going to use some Mossy Meadow and some Old Olive, and I'm going to use both because I want to show some depth. Yeah, daffodils, they just really mean a lot to me. Those were some of my very best memories. We used to go and hide. We used to ring the doorbell, drop them off at the doorbell, and run and hide and watch the elderly ladies open the door and look around. And no, those were good times. Those were the best times. Life gets a little bit more difficult. Oh, thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. I have several new customers that I haven't seen it all but one on here so far today. That I'm grabbed a little piece of pear pizzazz. I think it's actually too small for the dies, but I've grabbed it just in case because it works well with these other two colors. Okay, that's good. And they are brand new to stamping, like brand new to stamping. And so I want to make sure that they see that not everything is walking over to a shelf and pulling off something that's all prearranged and ready to go. It's okay. It's all okay. All right, so there are two, and where's my other one? Probably in here, probably slid down. Here it is. So these are all the dies that come in the Daffodil dies. That's the name, Daffodil dies. These two cut out stamps that are in the Daffodil Daydream. This big butterfly cuts out this stamp from the Daffodil Daydream. All of the rest of these dies build daffodils, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to build the daffodil. Hi, Sonia. Thank you so much. Sharing it helps me so much when people do that. I'm trying so hard to build my little business, and the only way I can do that is if people share. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So anyway, so there's our daffodils. You can see that so here's a stem and the beginning of a head. They go in two different directions. Here's two leaves. They go in two different directions. Let's see, these four pieces create a daffodil. So do these four pieces, and they are exactly the same as these four pieces. But over here, there is these two pieces and these two pieces create a daffodil, and then these pieces, and I haven't figured this one out yet, these pieces create the bud of a daffodil. Okay, so we'll see as we build this little bouquet that's going to come out of my window. So it's probably going to come from behind the window and pull out to the front. All right, that's my vision. So I am going to run through cutting some, let's see, let's cut some, can I get more than one on there? I can. And they don't have to line up. I just don't want them to fall off the edge. Let's see. Let's see, can I get another piece on here too? All right. My plate is warped slightly, which is totally normal for this kind of crafting. I'm just going to use a piece of Post-it tape to hold these in place so they don't fall off every time I move something around. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I've got some stems, and what else can I cut out? You can cut out anything that you can fit on this plate. You can roll through at the same time. You just might get a little bit cranky about it. Not bad, it won't hurt anything. That looks like everything I can cut out in one fell swoop at the moment. So the top plate, let's see, I was replacing the one plate because it got adhesive on it, and that will make it more difficult. Here we go. There we go. I'm trying not to put my hand in the way, but I need to hold it down. For some reason, my little tabletop here is sliding around more than usual today. I might need to put some little grippers on the back to prevent that in the future. I haven't even considered that until right now. Okay, so there are two daffodil stems, and these are facing opposite directions. So remember, I'm building a bouquet here, right? So I'm thinking I can do something. Can you see what I'm doing here? I've slid them so they're maybe two different heights or something like that. So how many daffodils do I think I can put in my window frame? I'm thinking one more. Yep. I'm thinking one more. So there's my first two leaves. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut another set of leaves at the same time. So, okay, I'm going to tear this down, make it just slightly thinner. There we go. Ta-da! Now, you all know that normally I have everything cut ahead of time. You like that, how I'm trying to justify in my head that everything is okay, even though to me it doesn't feel like it. All right, here we go, here we go. And I'm not putting the tape on here to line anything up, I'm just putting it on there so it doesn't jump off. And the plate. So I've got a total of, okay, one of these is jumping off the edge over here, so I need to push it back. All right. So I have a number 1, a number 2, and 2 number 3 plates on here to run these through. That's really standard, what they call a sandwich. So the layering of your plates is referred to as a sandwich. All right, I now have four leaves. I think I just lost one somewhere. And I have 4 stems, but I'm only going to use 3. Come on. Okay, it's going to stay there because it's being stubborn. I am going to put my dies. These would be really easy to lose. See how skinny and long they are? I'm going to put them right back on my magnet sheets to prevent that kind of issue. And I'm going to do the same thing with my leaves. Just like that. So what kind of weather are you all having? We are having, it's mid-40s, but it's pure sunshine. Here in Vancouver, Washington, Pacific Northwest. Next, I'm going to lay out, let's see, I'm going to put these greens aside. I'm not going to put them back in my plastic baggie because I don't want to, if I need something, I don't want to have to go dig for them again. So I'm just setting them off to once. I'm going to throw them over here in my project bin. Okay. And man, I've hit this a lot. Where do you buy the magnet sheets? You need some of those. Okay, I have a couple of different things I can tell you about that. I buy them at Stampin Storage. They are very cold in Montreal this morning. Whoa, Sonia. Yeah, minus 30 Celsius is pretty freaking cold. Holy man. Oh, stay warm, my friend. Hot tea. Hot tea is what I have to say to you. Man. Okay, okay, Stampin Storage. 62 degrees and sunshine. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And you guys had snow a week ago. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna make a white daffodil. And, oh, for each of these daffodils, I need 2 of the petals to make the big full arrangement. So, okay, so this one is white. Let's see, I want to put some color in it though. So I'm going to go with, the yellow striations all around. We'll see how that turns out. If it doesn't, let's see. Okay, stop, think. I'm going to use my adhesive, my multi-purpose glue when I assemble these. Because right now I'm not sure if I want I should just go ahead and cut out the yellow at the same time. Sorry, people. Sorry, friends. All right. Stampin Storage. Ooh, so, okay, 33 degrees. See, we're all over the place, aren't we? Wow. Yeah, 33 degrees. So we're about 10 degrees above you, Andy Sorbel. Okay. So did I just knock one? I did. All right. So here are pink. There are white petals, white daffodil, and come on, with some yellow on it. That's got some nice dimension, and some yellow on those petals, although I think I'm not going to do that way. So I only need 3 daffodils. Once everything's cut out, this is all going to go really fast. So this is, believe it or not, this is actually called Daffodil Delight. That's the name of this color. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my blending brush to deepen up the coloring on this piece. So when I layer it on the yellow, it doesn't just disappear and it will pop out a little bit. See, I've got a plan. I really do. I've had this vision for a while, and I've had so many other stamp sets that I needed to show how to use that I didn't get to do this. So I'm really grateful to be doing this today because I really wanted to make this specific. Okay. So I need more Daffodil Delight from my handy dandy little baggie over here. And let's see. I've got some strips. Those are not big enough for those. I've got this fun little piece. There we go. I'll just go ahead and switch over to that. And putting those back on. All right, so that's going to give me a white daffodil, a yellow daffodil. Let's see. What other color? What do you think? Do you all have an opinion? Should I do maybe 2 solid yellows and 1 with the white with the yellow? I was going to throw in some other colors, but I'm not so sure it's necessary. All right, so I've got the petals for the yellow. I've got, those are all done. Sorry, just trying to plan myself out here so I maximize what I'm putting through. Oh, okay, I should do one of these partials is what I should do. One that's, it's a daffodil, it's just facing the other direction. That's what I'll do. Okay. I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut out the head of a daffodil. I know I said I was only going to do 3. So let's see, this one has those 2 pieces already cut out, and that's the head. This one I'm going to need to cut out some white of this. Let's see if I can get this all in one foul swoop. I don't know what that actually means, foul swoop. All right. I think I might be just about down to being able to take off all these extra scraps off the table. Whoops, whoops. I don't know if you can see that, but one of my dies shifted and was over layering another die. That would have been a bad cut. And this one shifted. Okay, so that tells me I want to flip over the plate that I'm trying to place on. There we go. Yep, probably had a little warp in it, and I'm going to put my hand right back in the middle. You like the solid yellow? Okay, beautiful. I'm doing 2 solid yellows. Or a solid yellow and a bud, or something. Let's see, set all these scraps aside and see what else I still need. All right, so here, all right, if this ever happens, there's a couple things you can do. Some people just throw down their die and the paper pops out, or you can use take your pick tool and push it through one of the little holes, and that will help remove it as well. So you like that? That was a scrap of paper that was in a scrap bin, and look at everything it's going to make. All right, so now we have this and this and this to make a solid yellow. Then we have this and this and this and this to make another solid yellow. It's like a 3/4 view. And then just for giggles, I cut out the bud. Then I needed, for this white with yellow over here, there. I think we are in good shape. See, I threw it down, it popped out. Again, scrap, and I was able to use it. So don't throw out your scraps. You will waste money, a lot of money, if you throw away your scraps. They can become a bit of a burden, especially if you forget to use them for a while. So my suggestion is don't forget. When I create, I pull out, I'll show it to you in just a second after I get all these dies put back on here. But I have a scrap bin. I think I had these on here. And it's not a fancy box. It works for me. It might not work for you, but it does work for me. I'm missing one die right there. Okay, and I really did want to stamp and cut out a butterfly too. I might as well just go ahead and do that right now to get that out of the way. I've got some white cardstock that I had pulled that's still right here, so I'm just going to pull that out. And what I do is I just tear away the part that I don't need, that I can throw away. This is actually big enough to stamp a sentiment on. But that's a gut feeling thing. That's not an exact science. Oh, and I was going to show you this is, and I think I've shown this to you recently. Let's see if I can do this with my cut and emboss machine in the way. So this is one of those fabric squares, cubes, that sits on shelves, and I have everything sorted by color family. So I've got all of my greens in one baggie. Here are my blacks and grays, my pinks, you get the idea. I keep my whites and my off-whites separated, and then anything that's been pre-cut that could make a card base is sitting in the front of my cube. So that's how I do it. Again, it's not an exact science, but it's space efficient for me. All right, stamping these butterflies real quick. Whew, I hope I haven't lost anybody because of how slow I'm going, but I understand if I have. Okay. once I have all these pieces cut, then it all becomes really obvious how fast this can go together. I'm looking for it's right here. It's the right size stamp block. And I have my ink right back here. I'm knocking everything over. Whew. So I attended, first, before I do that, Stampin Storage. Stampin Storage is where I get my magnet sheets. I can give you a couple of other ideas of how I've done it in the past. Stampin Storage is a little bit more expensive. I personally find it worth it. But in the past, I had bought some, they were called vent covers, magnetic vent covers from Amazon. And then I just cut them down to size and put my magnets on or my dies on those. But what happens is those were flippy floppy and the magnets would pop off. And that didn't work for me at all. Then I found Stampin Storage. Well, when I saw the Stampin Storage, their magnet comes on a piece of chipboard and it has this sheet on it. So what I did is I loved that. And now this is only what I buy. This is how I do it. But I still had all this magnetic sheeting from before. So I took the chipboard that comes sometimes with your DSP or various products that we get, and I cut it down to the size. So this is the chipboard, and I adhered it to my magnetic sheet. Now, this magnetic sheet does not hold nearly as well as this magnetic sheet. I just want to be super honest with you. This is super strong. This is mildly strong. So my recommendation would be to go with them pre-made, but you can make your own. That's the journey that I went through to to have magnetic sheets. And now I have so many. Because I'm a demonstrator, I actually sell, I rotate out my stock. So when something is discontinued, I actually sell everything that's discontinued, and all the magnets come off of the magnet sheet, they go back into their original packaging, and I reuse the magnet sheet on the next set. So I hope that makes sense, and I'm sorry that was such a long answer. All right, so now I'm going to die cut these butterflies, and I've only got one butterfly die, so it will take me 3 times, but it should be quick. I'm going to use a piece of Post-it tape to hold this in place. The reason I'm cutting out 3 is I'm envisioning these kind of being used in place of gems, or maybe with gems after, when there's a bouquet. I sure hope this turns out like I think it will, because if it does, it's going to be beautiful. I've done a window bouquet before and it turned out really nice. It was a bit more shabby chic. Well, this could be considered a shabby chic too. So the black and white gingham ribbon that I showed you that was on some of those make and takes that are available. I should show, I'm going to finish cutting these butterflies and then I'll show those make and takes again real quick to anybody who showed up late. I am going to have a special starting today. Any purchase over $35, I've got 5 make and take kits that I will send you for free. It does not include any stamping. It does include die cutting. And like if I use a punch or something like that, all of that will be done. So your card, it will include your cardstock, it will include an envelope, it will include some designer series paper for you to decorate your envelope. But it will not include any stamps or adhesive. It will include your embellishments. All right, here we go. Finally, I think I can take the cut and emboss machine off the table. Because whatever I do for a sentiment, I think I'm going to hand cut. All right. Ta-da! The rebutterflies. I'm putting this die over on the die sheet, and I'm putting these die sheets over in my project bin. All right, I can now make this video a bit more easy for everybody to see. So this is the large cut and emboss machine. We do have a small one as well. The only reason I pulled out the big one this time was because I wanted to cut this window, and I didn't think this window was going to fit through the small. So there we go. Now let's reassemble the table. So here's our card base. Here's our window. Here's our stems. And our stems, our leaves, there we go. Is this starting to look a bit more like a Tia video than it did a second ago? So here's the sideways or 3/4 view daffodil. Here's a full daffodil, a bud, and some butterflies. All right, now we can start putting something together. So I'm going to start by putting the heads of the butterflies. I'm going to put the heads of the daffodils together first, and I'm going to grab some Daffodil Delight ink, my ink pad. I actually just grabbed Bumblebee as well. I'm going to speak a little louder since I just sat down, which I normally do when I start to color. I'm going to grab one of these pieces of Daffodil Delight that I just threw away from running through the machine. I'm going to use my blending brush, which is supposed to be nearby. There it is. This looks blue. It is not. It's perfectly clean, and I can use any dye that I want, or any ink that I want. Some portions of these blossoms I want to enhance the color a little bit. So I'm going to start with a little bit of Daffodil Delight, which is looking a little bit brown. So I'm going to take a second, and I'm going to, so Daffodil Delight is one of the inks that sometimes the tones within the ink separate a little bit. I use a plastic spoon to reactivate and remix it all. It doesn't happen to very many. There are some people it doesn't happen to at all, and I'm wondering if it has anything to do with maybe where we live. But I have two colors that I have to do this with. And it doesn't cost me anything. See, now it's turning nice and yellow. See the edge here? It was looking a little bit more brown. But here you can see it's turning way more yellow. So, all right. So that's what I did. I just took a plastic spoon and I just rubbed it all together. Just like that. And you can actually just clean off your spoon. You can go to the sink, or you can just use your chamois and just clean it off. And I keep this in my toolkit right here that's on my desk. I have a little toolkit with my snips, my bone folders, my pick-me tool, a ruler. So there we go. All right, so I'm pretty sure that was too brown. Now, yeah, so raising this up so that hopefully you can see. I'm just enhancing the color of the cardstock slightly. It's tone on tone ink. So I'm going to keep the outside petal the same, and I'm going to enhance the inner pieces. Just like that. And I think I need a piece of, I'm grabbing a piece of extra cardstock. I just happen to have some scrap laying here because I showed you the bin. And these don't have to be exact. Remember, nature's not exact. Well, nature's pretty awesome, but so this is going to be adhered to the top of a piece of daffodil yellow cardstock. And this is just going to help create some of the shading that you would see. As it blows and bends in the, ooh, that turned up brown. Blows and bends in the wind. Might have to make sure that that petal gets positioned behind something else. I'm not going to stop and recut anything. Not because I'm lazy, but because I think I can save it without any dramatic action on my part. All right. So now, I brought over the crushed curry in case I felt like I needed it, but I didn't feel like I needed it, so I didn't use it. So that's for the one. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the one that has the 3/4 view. Just using my blending brush just to add a little bit of tone. All right. And I did that on a piece of cardstock so I didn't mess up my my fingernail is yellow. I can clean that off on the chamois. There we go. All done. All right, set this off to one side. Can't wait for you all to see my little dream come true here. Okay, so these go to that. These go to this. A little hard to pick up. Okay. So I'm going to adhere this overlaying on top like such. Technically I guess I should have made this the darker color. I'm going with it, going with what I've already done, not backing down now. And I'm going to lay these on their respective pieces as well. And I'm pretty sure this lays like, nope. Make sure I've got the pieces going in the correct direction. Yep, there we go, I think. Let's make sure this isn't flipped over. Nope. Not flipped over, nope. So sometimes this piercing mat, because it's skid resistant, so sometimes it's a little hard for me to pick something up. There we go, now I found it. All right. So I'm just going to put a dot of adhesive here. I'm not real worried about like trying to glue all these little fingers. I actually, if it picks up a little bit, I actually think it gives the flower more texture. And I believe this was correct. So there is one, whoopsie, one set of petals. I'm just giving it a good little squeeze between my fingertips. Let's see, am I even in frame? I hope I am. Just like such. I better look really quick. Another great tip. Oh, yeah. Good. I'm glad that you like that tip. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I thought some of my ink was bad. And trying to remember where I learned that tip from. I I can't remember if it was Demonstrator Planning Place or somewhere somebody mentioned that. I tried it and it worked like a charm. The other one is Blushing Bride for me. But there are other people that don't have any problem with it at all, like my friend Carol. She didn't have that problem at all, and I went through a few with that issue. So, again, I don't know if it has something to do with where I live. Temperature or something like that. Did I just put that in the wrong spot? Evidently. There we go. Gosh, doesn't look quite right, but I'm sticking with it now, friends. Okay. These are going to overlap like such. I don't want mine to be completely flat, so I'm giving them just a little bit of a finger curl. Now, it doesn't do a lot of good to do a ton of curl because when you put these in an envelope, you're going to lose some of that. But this is what I like to do. And then these can go together like such. See, they're already looking like a... I am going to use a mini glue dot because it is plenty strong to hold all these together. Come on. So I just put those together like such. Okay. I am now going to adhere these two pieces together, and this is going to sit in here, and I'm actually going to use a mini glue dot and 1 dimensional to apply this because I want the head to stick out just a little bit. So first I'm going to adhere. I don't have any fingernails whatsoever. This, well, I mean I have a couple, but this dry weather, my nails have been snapping. Let's see, what was I going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to show again. At the end of the video, I will show again the make and takes that are available for $35 for free with a $35 purchase. All right. There we go. I'm going to let that dry for just a second. That's pretty, isn't it? I'm going to add a not trying to make it stand up, but I just want it to give it some dimension. So I'm going to add a mini glue dot down here at the base, and then I'm going to add a dimensional about 2/3 of the way up. I have done this before and it was successful. I haven't done it on this one because it's the first time I've made this. My little dream. Dimensionals are right here. Did you know that as you use up your dimensionals, the frame that is around your dimensionals can be cut up and also used as dimensionals? So here is an example of that. This is a sheet that's been used up, and I've been using the border and just tearing off the excess, and then I just keep cutting and using these, and you're going to get to see me do that right now. Do not throw away that extra frame. Totally, totally usable. Okay, putting my dimensional about 2/3 of the way up, like I said. Let's see, I don't necessarily like that placement. I'm going to keep turning this until I find the placement that I think it looks nice. go. All right, so there's one of our daffodils. And when we apply them to the stem, that's easy peasy. That's and we always have to remember to point the head in the direction that this is pointing. So, because that's what daffodils do, right? They don't pop up straight. So it goes like that. Oh, I'm so glad that you like it. Straightening out my back a little bit here. Speeding up now, aren't I? Okay, let's assemble these. Again, I'm not going to color now, but I am going to, just going to adhere these real quick. And I should double check and make sure I'm in frame. I'm barely in frame. Let's move this up. Sorry if there's anything you haven't been able to see. It's really natural to try to pull things closer to ourselves when we're working on something. So I apologize if, okay, where's my glue? There it is. It just came out in a little blob, but I just took the tip and didn't squeeze anymore, and I'm just using the tip to spread it around. To pick that up, trying to pick that up. There we go. So this is a white and yellow daffodil. And pretty sure this is my alignment. Just like that. So just holding that together. See that it gives it just a little bit of texture? I'm going to do that again. My husband's a groundskeeper at the local Latter-day Saint temple, and he is thrilled with this weather. Last week was not so much fun. It was very rainy, very wet, and I can validate or verify that there was a tremendous amount of laundry. See, another one, all done. And I'm going to use a mini glue dot to adhere these in the center, or connect these in the center. I'm looking at the wrong side of my tape. Let's see, I need to tear this off so that I don't lose track of that. Putting a mini glue dot right in the middle of the back of one of the layers. And going to line up those centers and give them a little push. And while I'm holding that with one finger, I'm just going to go ahead and use my other hand to kind of curl those petals just a little bit. Now, have any of you seen the prized peony stamp set and dies that Stampin' Up has? Their die set actually makes a 3D peony, and that's one of my absolute most favorite sets. I love making bouquets. If you've watched me for any amount of time, you already know that. I do it with pretty much regularity, but I do some other stuff. I've done some mountains, I've done some kitty stuff. All right. Might have too much glue on there, I hope not. And sliding that into place, aligning that top and bottom and sides. Pushing that down a little bit. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing with this. I'm going to put a mini dimensional on the bottom, or mini dimensional, excuse me. I'm going to put a mini glue dot on the bottom of the flower. And then I'm going to, again, use some of my leftover dimensional frame here. Dimensionals can be cut down as small as you need them to be. So remember that, friends. They are a tool. You are not limited by the shape that they come in. Let's see. Well, funny. Looks like I adhered these a little off center. I'm not sure I can get them back on center. Well, looks like it's going to work. Okay, that looks good. And I've got my little dimensional in there. So there's another daffodil. So we have 2 daffodils so far. All right, we're going to put together this side view daffodil. I don't think I'm going to need the bud, but it's there just in case. Just in case. So these pieces are shaped a little different. So I actually don't know yet if I'm going to use a dimensional behind this one or not, because it is a different angle of the daffodil. All right, there's one portion. And then this is going to sit on here like this. I sure hope I put this one together right. I am not so sure that, let's see, maybe I should just look at the catalog and make sure I'm getting the direction correct. I can tell this assembly, but when it comes to the intention of how it all lays together, all right, so that is adhered. I just want to make sure how these 2 pieces go together. I think they go together like this. Or like this, like this. Pretty sure that's it right there. But I am going to grab the catalog. And I think it's on page 37. I'm going to double check. Yep, 37. And here is that daffodil. Okay, so I had it upside down, so it looks like it goes like this. And like that. Nope. Nope, that's wrong. Okay, so I'm looking I'm looking at this right here. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I see. So it looks like, all right, I had part of it right. Looks like it goes like this. And goes like this. And it looks like this is actually a leaf coming out at you, so I need to have that like bent like such. So this will bend like such, like such. This will bend up. All right, so now I'm good to go on that. I need a mini glue dot in the center of that. I haven't used that one before, obviously, and I really wanted to get it right and not steer anybody wrong. Also show you that you can always go back to the catalog and refer to their pictures and see if they give you a more clear idea. All right, so now I'm setting that in the back like such. All right. Maybe these curl up and those curl down. I don't know, something like that. All right, and now that is the head of the flower right there. Right? Looking at it again. Just going to double check and make sure there is no additional flower head right there. Or was I supposed to cut another? Oh, it looks like I should have cut another one of these heads. Do I want to do that? Not really. Do I have enough scrap that I can do it quickly? So I basically only need one of these and one of these. Looks like I could get that there. Okay, it looks like I could get it pretty quickly, so I am going to go ahead and do it. I have a piece of Post-it tape here. I'm going to throw these on there just because you can see that I'm utilizing a very tiny spot of paper. I'm not going to bring it back into frame. I'm just going to do it over here off to the side, so forgive me if anybody's needing a demonstration and I'm missing out. If you're needing a demonstration of using the cut and emboss machine, you'll see that at the beginning of the video if you don't mind going back and rewatching. Just because everybody else has tolerated me for longer than normal at this point. Okay, running them through now and done. All right. I tried to be accurate and know that I had enough stuff, but I didn't. All right, I have this. There we go. My adhesive. Is anyone looking forward to seeing this bouquet come to life besides me? My little dream of having this. I've done one of these before. It was I'm trying to remember which flowers I used that came out of a window. Turned out really well. I believe it was one of my global competition cards. It was well received. Letting that glue set. A little black something. Oh, it came off. Okay. All right. So now this is going to sit like this. So this is even going to work better with that dimensional behind. So I'm using a mini glue dot at the bottom. So the reason I'm using a mini glue dot at the bottom and dimensional at the top is I want the bottom to sit closer to the paper. I don't want it lifted off, but I want the top of the flower lifted up off of the petals so that it's not flat. That makes sense, I hope. All right, I think we are now ready to assemble some flowers. here's my vision. I'm going to, oh, I didn't add this. This needs, there we go. It needs to sit like such. So my dimensional should have been a little smaller, but that's all right. I'm going to use my bone folder. I'm going to burnish my card base. Now, I could have taken another piece of cardstock, maybe embossed it and laid it on here and then put this on top of that. In this case, I'm going to just put my window on here. Before I stick it, I'm going to know exactly how my windows are sitting, but because I'm going to be doing some arranging, I'm going to use I'm going to throw some big dimensionals on the back of this. I'm not going to peel off the backs. So I'm just going to use it to make it lift up off of the front of the card. I am going to use a lot of dimensionals. It's going to be a long video for one card. Sorry, everybody. I should have taken into account how many pieces were in the daffodils. All right. And I just missed a really great opportunity to use my black dimensionals instead of my white dimensionals, but that's okay. All right, so I'm picturing this wooden window frame sitting up off and centered. I'm picturing my daffodils. Let's see, maybe they can come up over the top and outside of the frame, but they're going to, the stems and the leaves are going to come up from underneath. And something like that. Okay, centered. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a mini glue dot on these stems. So I see that I'm going to need 2 stems that are facing to the left and 1 stem that's facing to the right. And I say that because I have 4 stems here, 2 facing each way. And see the ruffle here? This is the direction of the flower head, and there's the head of the flower, or head of the stem is right there. I'm making sure that they're facing the same direction. So this one goes to the right. Another mini glue dot. Remember, daffodils do not stand straight up. The stems are straight, but the flowers hang to one side. That's something. Let's see, what do I have here that I can put some kind of piece of debris in here. There, I got it out. All right, so this flower is going to sit this way. And these extra stems are going to get cut off. And I need one that's facing to the left. This one faces to the left. Another mini glue dot. That is not going to be the only thing holding everything in place on these little skinny stems. I will be using probably a dimensional on the backs of these heads. Okay, so I want, yep, just like that. I want that flower sticking out. I want this flower sticking out. This one over here. I've got some leaves to tuck in here. Once I get this laid out, then I can start adhering things. So I've got leaves to the left and leaves to the right. So I think with that one shorter flower there we go. And I can definitely have some in the front as well. I see I've got that dimensional in the way, so I need to plan around that. There we go. Okay, so I'm not sure if you all see what I see, but I see a plan here of staggering some things. I see that I need to cut off a couple inches off the bottom of these stems. I don't want to do too much cutting until I've put everything in place. So I'm going to start with, see this, okay. Whew. Maybe if we can see better if I take that off. I actually think I can stick this in place now. And then I will check twice and trim stems and leaves before I adhere them in location. All right. So I am centering this, as I told you, that's kind of what I had pictured in my mind. And I don't think I'm straight. I'm off just a little bit. I think I'm straight now. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay. I need to quit stressing about this being such a long video. All right. So my flower, I want this yellow flower to be up towards the top. And I think I'm going to, I just want to make sure it doesn't exceed the height of the card. Like that. So I see that I need to take off about 3/4 of an inch off the bottom of this stem. Doing that. And I'm going to go ahead and use a big dimensional on the back. And I am, let's see, trying to think if I want to, don't necessarily want to put glue down on every single stem because the flower heads are actually holding it in place. Making sure I'm not exceeding that height. Come down just slightly. There we go. All right, so first flower is in place. Second flower, kind of wishing I hadn't put this dimensional right in the middle down here, but I did. I'm having to live with it now. I can overlap these flowers a bit if I want. They don't have to lay individually. There we go. I'm kind of liking that look. Like a bundle of flowers. And I am going to have a bow down here. So I'm going to go ahead and I need to trim looks like about 1.5 inches off the bottom of that stem. I need to trim just a little bit more, just a tad. I don't want it to be visible down here. Okay, big. I just realized I can stand again. I don't. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Y'all are having great patience with me. Okay, there's that one. This one is going to sit right at about the same height. And so I see that I need to cut off a good 1.5 inches of stem. Oh, sometimes you plan a video and you think it makes sense to have everything interactive and have everybody see every step, and sometimes that doesn't work just right. I have a tendency to cut majority of my things ahead of time because I'm more comfortable that way. All right. Our flowers are on. Now we're going to place our leaves. And I do want one taller, or a couple of that are taller. And that one I don't have to cut at all. I'm going to put a couple mini glue dots on this. I've been really going through the mini glue dots today, haven't I? All right. Oops, yep, that one took. Okay. So now, get that fed back through. Oops, I can see that mini glue dot, so I'm just going to fold it. There we go. There, you can't see it. And I like having that leaf stick out back behind. This flower's acting a little, the others are very solid. This one, oh, I see, it came off of its head. Okay. I wonder. There, now we're good. Woo! All right, now I want a leaf from the back on the left-hand side as well. What do you think? So normally I take these Monday videos and I post them to YouTube, but this one is so long, I'm not so sure. The computer that I have right now doesn't have the memory to do the editing to shorten it. I don't know, maybe I guess I could put it on YouTube and just put on a disclaimer that it's a long video. Okay, come on. This is where I want it to sit. It's about like such. I didn't put adhesive on that, did I? Nope. I went to all that trouble, had no adhesive on it. You like it? Good, I'm glad. I had originally envisioned the brown as well, and the only reason I had even offered up doing it in the white was because it was a new designer series paper. But I love wood grain. I love, love, love dark brown wood grain. So now to try to feed this through, and then pull this back. There we go. And then somewhere in there is, yep, the glue is the glue dot. Okay. Okay, I need to pull that down just a little bit because it's exceeding the height of the card. And I don't want it to get munched in the mail. So I'm using the clay end of the Take My Pick tool to try to scooch it down a little bit. See, it's just barely exceeding the top. Let's see if I can. There we go. All right, now I want to pull it back out. There we go. Whew. Holy schmoly, you guys are seeing it all today. All right, there's 2 of the leaves. Now these others should be easier. They'll be in the front or up the middle. So this one goes to the there we go. I think the greenery just adds so much depth. See, isn't that nice? All right, so I need to I'm not sure if I like it in front of that daffodil or not. Let's see if that one's not glued down yet. I'm getting there, people. Let's see. I might not need 4 leaves. I may just use 3. This one bends in the right direction, I think. Doesn't need to stick out far, it just needs to stick out a little bit. Or like that. I think I could make myself happy with that and be done. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. And yes, you just saw me tear that instead of cut it, but now I'll go back and cut it because I feel bad. And I can't wait to show you again at the end of the video the make and takes that you can get for free with the $35 purchase. Right, so this card isn't going to need much more, is it? But I did cut out these butterflies, remember? I've got 3 butterflies that I can toss a little bit of color on. Let's see, what color do I want to put on them? I think I don't want to get too crazy. So I've got I might just use the colors that I used last night on those make and takes that I'm going to show you, and just make this easy on myself. So last night I used light Flirty Flamingo around the outer edges. So if you look at this design, there is a little halo around each wing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that in light Flirty Flamingo. And then I'm going to do the inside of each one. I'm trying to remember if it was dark pale papaya. I think it was dark pale papaya. So just not taking very long to do this. Very, very quick. I just loved how the butterflies turned out on one of those make and takes last night, and so I really, really think they make a great little addition to these flowers. So see, and then I will bend them, and they will sit around the bouquet. All right, friends, we are, believe it or not, we're closing in. And yes, I know, I don't have a sentiment on here or the inside of my card. Both of those will be quick. So look, 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 look. Do you like the butterflies? Let me know. Please put it in the comments. Do you like the butterflies? If not, I can take them off and just use gems. I have not adhered any of them. Okay, we're not doing any of this part, or this part. All of this can come off the desk. To uncomplicate my thought process, I can tear this down to here. Okay, so we still need, you like them. Awesome. I am going to stick them on. I will stick them on in a minute. I need to put a sentiment right here. And I need to figure out exactly which one I'm going to use. Let's use something that is close by. Okay. Let's see, I've got something that says, so glad we're family, such happy news, best of luck, stay wonderful, you're the nicest. What a beautiful day for love. Oh, this, I think that would be nice. What a beautiful day for love. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. And I told you that I was going to cut around. So there's the sentiment. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap white, which I thought I left some, yep, I did, right here. I am going to stamp this in early espresso, which I will come right out and tell everybody right now is my favorite Stampin' Up color. Yes, I have a favorite color. I own every color from Stampin' Up. I love them all, but I have a tendency to go back to early espresso for everything. I also love the Night of Navy. But if I had to pick between the two, and this is looking a little dry, excuse me. And then when I cut it out, it's going to sit down here. There's going to be a bow here. Then the butterflies will be placed. So I am going to try not to be too quick because I don't want to mess up. I'm just going to do a quickie little fussy cut here. Actually, I think there's a specific name for when you're cutting around the words, but I can't remember what it is. If somebody knows, drop it in the chat, would you? I see I'm a little bit crooked here. Most people say not to worry about it. I will probably go back and correct it. But what is the name? There is a name to this particular. I think I'm going to use the Bumblebee Gingham ribbon at the bottom of this bouquet. Just seems appropriate. Yeah, see, I think that looks too obvious. There. What a beautiful day for love. Sweet. All right, let's get out that ribbon, which is right here. Let's get out our bow maker, which is right here. Okay, so normally, let's grab one of those make and takes. Where'd they go? So normally that's the size bow I make, but I think that might be too small for that bouquet. I think I'm gonna pop it up one. If I don't like it, I can save it for something else and make another. On those make and takes that I've talked about a few times. I do pre-make your bows. Not just because I have a bow maker, but because I like to make bows. And evidently, some people are not comfortable making bows, so I want to take that stressor away from you and just send it to you all ready to go. Yeah, that's a better size for this bouquet. So now I've got my bow, I've got my butterflies, I've got my sentiment, which I'll put some dimensionals underneath, and I need to arrange everything. So do I want this? Oh, I think the bow up high looks good. What do you all think? Yeah. I need one of those bow makers too. You've got one coming to you. I've got it in a package for you already. That is one of the thank you gifts that I get to send you for joining the Paper Blessings team. When you joined Stampin' Up and you joined my team, I get to send you a thank you. Everybody does it a little bit different, but I chose the bow maker to send as a joining gift. All right. I'm so excited to have Andy on my team. I just know we're going to have so much fun. And that's what it's about, having fun. Having a crafting community and enjoying each other's company and inspiring each other and uplifting each other. I can't think of a better side job to have than this one. I love it so much. Okay, so now I've got the bow on the flowers. The reason I haven't attached the butterflies yet is I'm not sure if I want to put one down. I might want to put one down by the sentiment. Okay, I'm going to put some dimensionals on my sentiment. I might need to double. Yes, I will need to double stack. Oh, Andy, we are going to have a blast. I just feel it in my bones. I've met some of the most wonderful people. Okay, I should have triple stacked that. I wasn't thinking because there's already one stack here. And I'm putting one level right here on this end. But back here, that's going to need to be 3 high. As soon as I started to lay it down, I could tell it was going to be the wrong height. So can you see what I've done? I've just stacked those dimensionals on top of each other to create the height that I want. Whoop, 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 don't stick. So I'm coming off the edge over here a little bit, and I'm bringing this down so that those dimensionals are kind of butted up against the inside of this frame. Oh, did I forget to take the backer? I did. I forgot to take the backer off of that one. There we go. All right. Ta-da! What do you think? Do you like that? All right, now another mini glue dot on the back of my butterfly. I could use dimensionals. I'm not going to. Let's see. I'm going to put one on, whoops. I'm going to put one on the frame here. I'm going to put another, let's see. So this, since this one's pointing this way, I'm going to point this one this way, and this one can face the same way. All right. It's coming together. I like to, you've seen me do all different kinds of styles of cards here lately. And I had a friend who I think is watching, mention, Tia, you haven't been doing your normal style of cards. And she's absolutely right. And to be honest, that's where my heart is in this style of card. So I am showing you what I've got, and I'm using the current product to do it. I'm also taking up your entire afternoon, which I apologize for. All right, so let's see. I can put this butterfly down here, or I can put it up here. Huh. Do I need? I do need. I don't want it on the flowers. I'm not thrilled with that. Okay. It's going to have to share a home with the bow. All right. So now, friends, is that enough, or do I need gems? And I'm going to throw a piece of paper on the inside, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to decorate it. It's fast, it's easy. I've just thrown something on the ground. Let's see. I need, unfortunately I do need to, that's the wrong cardstock. There we go. I do need to quickly cut. Where'd my cutter go? I buried it. I thought I had, but I'm not seeing it. So instead of making anybody wait any longer, I'm just going to cut it really quick. I'm going to cut a card for the inside of here that will be, so my dimensions are 4 by 5.5. Excuse me, 4 1/4 by 5.5. So I'm cutting it 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm just going in 1/4 of an inch on each dimension. And then put my cutter away. Sorry about that. Okay, where is Daffodil Daydream? We're just going to stamp in Early Espresso 1, and I'm going to leave it brown. I'm not even going to color it. I hear somebody in my house, and I'm looking out the window and I see that my husband is home. Okay, I am going to there we go. And the Early Espresso is right here. Holy moly, have I gone 2 hours? Friends, I apologize. And there we are. And I'm just going to adhere this to the inside of the card, just like such. So there's plenty of room to write a message. What a beautiful day for love. So let's adhere this. Because this card front is so heavy. I mean, technically I should probably have 2 layers on the inside. All right. And a little hard for you to see. Let's see if I pull it up, maybe you can see it better. I'm just centering that and adhering, pushing that down. All right, friends, here's our card. Are you happy? Do you like it? I like it a lot. I could still add gems, but I think I've added plenty to this card already. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Oh, what are we agreeing about? You don't think it needs gems. Okay, perfect. Thank you. You're watching. Oh, great. You're multitasking. Beautiful, beautiful. You're so pretty. I'm just reading the comments real quick to see if there's anything that I've missed. I don't think so. I think I've caught all the comments. Thank you, Andy Sorbell. I sure appreciate your comment about my design. That brings me great pleasure. Okay, so here is the card that I've designed and made today with your assistance and your comments. Thank you so much. One more quick review before I sign off, and that is that starting today, there is a promotion by Tia, by Stamp with Tia. If you spend $35 or more, I will send you a kit of 5 cards. And these are all featuring the paper that comes in the Daffodil Afternoon that is part of the celebration. So what I will send you is, if there's an embossed piece, you will get the embossed piece, you will get the cardstock will all be cut, the designer series paper will be cut, you will receive, I can't send you any stamped images, but I can send you a piece of paper that you can cut down with your own sentiment. I can send you the piece of paper that would make this butterfly, but I can't send you the butterfly. So I will send you a square that you can create your own. You know, if you've already got this bundle with the dies that you saw me use, you can create these cards. This is a die piece that I would cut and send. I would die cut all these circles. So $35 or more. I seriously suggest, if you would get these for free. I seriously suggest that you would spend $50 so that you could get the designer series paper for free or one of the other freebies. Okay, friends, here's my January host code. So if you place an order, please use that. And okay, thank you, Barb. Barb agrees, no gems. We have plenty on this card. Thank you, everybody. This has been a wonderful 2 hours plus. I love you all. Please be safe, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day.